On 17th November 2015, history was made at Birnin Kebbi, the state capital of Kebbi State in Nigeria. Many dignitaries and a large crowd of people were around to witness the historic occasion. A popular adage says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. President Muhammad Buhari launched the Anchor Borrowers Program on rice production at this impressive ceremony in Birnin Kebbi. It is the beginning of Nigeria's journey to self-sufficiency and surplus in rice production. Luckily for the rice program, both President Muhammad Buhari and the Kebbi State Governor, Senator Atiku Bagudu Abubakar, have accorded strong political commitment to it.
I have high hopes about the prospects of the CBN's Anchor Borrowers Program and its potentials to create millions of jobs and lift thousands of smallholder farmers out of poverty. The federal government very much favors this program because it squarely aligns with our aspiration to achieve food security for Nigeria. I am hopeful that the Anchor Borrowers Program will be a model in the way smallholder farmers are financed across the country. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the Anchor Borrowers Program's test launch is being done for the rice value chain. I am not surprised at the choice of rice for the program's pilot because rice has assumed the status of a major staple food in Nigeria.
The program is a Central Bank of Nigeria pilot scheme to be replicated across the nation with the sole aim of driving Nigeria towards attaining self-sufficiency and surplus in rice production. Kebbi State of Nigeria was selected as the launching state for some obvious reasons. The state has a land area of about 370,698 square kilometers or 3.1 million hectares. Of this available land area, an estimated 420,000 hectares are Fadama land, which means dry season cultivation is possible in the areas. In fact, the entire River Valley area in Kebbi North is 11,600 square kilometers of irrigable land, estimated at about 120 hectares along the River Valley. However, only 36.46% of the Fadama land areas in Kebbi State is being utilized. It is probably such potentials that the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) noted and found Kebbi State worthy or attractive to launch the Anchor Borrowers Program.
The whole idea was targeted at the bank through our governor by his own statement and desire was to reduce importation of rice. And by reduction in importation of rice, forex will be saved. The forex that would have been spent, that is foreign exchange, that would have been spent in importing the rice will be channeled towards other developmental areas. Since we have the capacity and the manpower and the agrarian environment to produce rice locally. And that was the dream we had, and that was what gave birth to the Anchor Borrower.
Some of the main objectives of the Anchor Borrowers Program include creating an ecosystem to link out growers to local processes, increase banks' financing to the agricultural sector, build capacity of banks, rice farmers and entrepreneurs, increase the productivity incomes of outgrowers and farmers, reduce rice importation and conserve external reserves, support job creation and generate new young farmers and entrepreneurs of the Anchor Rice Program. Arising from these objectives of the Anchor Rice Program, what opportunities prompted the Bank of Agriculture (BOA) to key into it?
First, the gap between the rapid growth in population estimated number of about 5 million Nigerians is being added every year. But then there is a gap in our ability to feed ourselves. Until recently, oil revenues allow for us to be importing to feed our people. With the collapse in oil prices, a gap has opened up. We don't have enough foreign exchange to import things like rice, milk, and sugar to feed our people. So there is a tremendous opportunity now to produce domestically what we used to import. The Anchor Rice Borrower Program is one such opportunity for Nigerians to start domestically producing things that we used to import. There is an estimated gap of about 4 million metric tons of rice. Not only is this gap widening as our population grows, but also that some of our neighbors, take Niger, neighboring countries, do also rely on Nigeria for some of their food grains. So in order to meet both domestic as well as regional demand, given the fertile land, weather, and the fact that you have a large number of youth unemployed, this is a conducive opportunity. In other words, the congruence of fertile land, resourceful youth, as well as the economic challenge of feeding a huge country in the face of limited foreign exchange, means that there is room for the Bank of Agriculture to step in to mobilize resources to help in domestic production of rice and other staple crops like maize, sorghum, tomato, sugar, soya beans, etc.
The Bank of Agriculture (BOA) is a development finance institution established by the federal government of Nigeria to provide micro and macro loan facilities to individuals, cooperative groups, corporate bodies, government agencies and institutions for agricultural, agro-allied, micro-trading and manufacturing purposes.
Bank of Agriculture.
Already, the bank has established itself quite solidly. In the 40th year of its existence, BOA has grown into becoming Nigeria's largest finance institution and the nation's leading agricultural finance agency. The bank has the highest rural operational coverage with 137 branch outlets nationwide. It has 6 zonal offices in Kano, Abuja, Bauchi, Enugu, Ibadan and Port Harcourt, and a head office in Kaduna.
Bank of Agriculture, improving lives, growing community. Bank of Agriculture.
The Executive Director, Wholesale Financing, explains the method adopted by BOA in order to key in to the Anchor Rice program of the CBN so that it could lend to the entire rice value chain through the agriculture value chain system of financing.
You cannot divulge the strategy that we use for the structure of agriculture. In terms of rural finance and agricultural development, our bank has the largest branch network, 137 nationwide. And in Kebbi State, where the Anchor program started in the sense that we are still going to expand to other nations, other parts of the country. But Kebbi State, as at that time, Bank of Agriculture has 3 branches: Kebbi, Yeruwa, Yauri, and Zulu. Now, when this came up, it was an initiative of the central bank, and they were invited as a bank with experts in agri-finance, and they believe we can do it. So the first strategy we did was that we got the list of the potential farmers from the state government and verified by the central bank, and we segregated them to various local governments. In KB State, I think there are 21 local governments. We segregated them, and by the bank's policy, each of our branches take care of a group of local governments. So when we segregated them, we discovered that majority of the farmers fall under KB. And KB branch alone will not have been able to handle close to 40,000 farmers. So because of that, we have to reopen our branch in Arugungu. So increasing the number of branches in KB from 3 to 4. Now, that was the first stage. After doing that, agriculture is a rural business. We still discover that majority of the farmers are in their rural areas. And by the policy of the bank, we don't allow our client farmers to travel too long distances. So in this case, we cannot envisage 20,000 farmers congregating in KB or in Agungu or in Yoruba. So we have to quickly open accounts opening centers in all the rural areas, and we deploy staff there. So the next strategy now is quickly increasing the number of staff in each branch in KB, to the point that presently we have minimum of 12 staff in each of the branches. And secondly, we have to deploy staff from all the northwest zone where KB belongs, and even up to the headquarters. Going towards Abuja, the north central zone, we have to deploy our staff to all the rural areas to go and continue to open the airport. Then secondly, it was a requirement that every farmer accessing this loan must have a BVN. That is a biometric verification number, and that created another challenge for us, doing that BVN within a record time. So what we did was that, courtesy the strong support we had from the KB State government, in particular the KB State governor, His Excellency Governor Bagudu, and the central bank. Now, we were able to train some of our staff in the use of BVN machine. We sent them to headquarters of the central bank in Abuja. They were given a training how to use the machine. And then we solicited support of the Nigerian Identity Management Company and NIMS, Nigerian Interbank Settlement System.
Regardless, the CBN opened up a competitive selection process for all commercial banks to key into the initiative. The CBN project manager further explains.
It was thrown open to all the commercial banks. We had stakeholders engagement meeting. We had meeting with the commercial banks, and it was thrown open to them. At the end of the day, it was only Sterling Bank that keyed in its Labana, the 5,000 farmers they are marked for Labana. Then for these 70,000 farmers, it was BOA that keyed in. It was open to all the banks, but so far the ones we are working with in this KB is Sterling Bank and Bank of Agriculture. It's evident that Bank of Agriculture is upscaled by this program. They have hired more hands. Their technology is upgraded beyond what it was because of this program, and so many high-tech approach was brought in, and so the bank has woken up from wherever they were before to a new level of operation. And so even though it was overwhelming initially, but they are living up to the challenges.
With BOA's repositioning core values of professionalism, integrity and customer focus, Nigerians should be aware that the best is yet to come. The experience gathered from the KB project really proved useful and fulfilling.
The experience has been quite remarkable in the sense that here we are handling a total number of 70,000 farmers that list submitted to us by Kebbi State government, which to us is unprecedented. But the good thing about the whole thing is we have landed well. In view of the fact that we were able to successfully disburse to over 66,000 farmers.
The Kebbi State Chairman Anchor Borrowers Program Implementation Committee explains the enormity and challenges associated with their assignment.
I don't think I have been reaching out to people to find out if there was any program that involved such a huge number, 70,000 in this country, wherever such a program had ever taken place. There was no. So, for a bank that was not a regular bank per se, if I say regular, this normal bank that deal with the daily banking transaction, to be confronted with such a number and be given timeline to accomplish a mission, and up to this moment there was no gap. I think it was a tremendous achievement. They have done well.
There were also challenges in respect of the verification exercise.
We incur a lot of challenges, particularly in terms of identifying the farmers, because the names they are giving us, they are different from the ones we have in the record. So we have to go down to their localities to confirm the actual names they are bearing. So, and the challenges we are facing again is some of them don't come out on time when we want to distribute inputs and the money to them. So we have to announce over the radio that they should come out to come and collect the money. If you ask them that why are they not coming, they say they are busy farming, because they want to wait for their funds. The farming system will be delayed. That is why they don't come out on time.
Okay, the challenges so far has been network, and then the numbers of people that come from BGM verifications. They are plenty, and it takes to manage. Most of them are illiterate, and you have to direct them to do every details of the.
So far, how many people have you registered?
For this center, we have about 14,000. We have about 14,000 borrowers. As at the last count, we have done 12,850.
Again, this was part of the challenges encountered by BOA in the process of getting to some locations. BOA staff work round the clock and therefore attuned to working beyond the call of duty, coupled with deployment of staff from other branches to assist in the Kebbi exercise. However, despite the apparent challenges of the exercise, the BOA Managing Director was asked, what key lessons have they learnt?
First of all, it is very important that in agriculture, the issue of what is being produced, who is going to buy it. In the past, farmers produced a lot, but there was no uptake, which subsequently led to abandoning those crops. You go around like mangoes, for instance, you see a lot is being produced, but nobody is uptaking. So the first issue in the Anchor Borrowers program is the question of the uptake. And secondly is the question of the inputs. We learned that our farmers have been using low quality inputs. Under the Anchor Borrowers program, we have to rely on certified high quality input, particularly the seedlings. We have, for instance, high quality seeds that will produce 4 to 6 metric tons of rice per hectare. This is likely to result in higher output and therefore the ability of farmers to make profit, be able to pay the bank. Thirdly is the question of ensuring that only farmers are engaged in the whole process. In the past, because of the relatively low interest rates, I said relatively low interest rates, people will take loans from the Bank of Agriculture and they will misuse the loans, go into trading, marry more wives, etc., etc. But this time around, farmers are largely paid in kind. We give them the input, we give them the fertilizer, the seedlings, the pumps for the dry season farming, and only the working capital, in other words, something like about 49 to 50,000 naira for their labor cost. But the key question is the mode of this collaboration. Farmers are given inputs which are verified to be of high quality. Now, the fourth issue is that because of the need to eliminate those ghost farmers, there was an insistence on the BVN numbers, so that each farmer, for purposes of identification, has a BVN number, which would allow us to identify these farmers and eliminate ghost farmers. I think also the issue of collaboration with the governments, particularly state governments, to mobilize like we did in Kebbi in so short a period of time. There were issues of logistics, issues of security. We were to target about 73,000 farmers in less than 2 months. Now, the enormous tasks involved, we redeployed a large number of staff. Now, one of the lessons is to start early, have a targeted number of farmers, because the generation of BVN numbers is costly, especially when you hurriedly put a team together. So we learned that BVN is important to eliminate ghost farmers and to ensure that we can recover. We learned that we need to plan, especially if we are targeting a large number of farmers, as the case may be. And the issue of the security for our staff, imagine dispersing some of the farmers we were dealing with have virtually no bank accounts. We have to mobilize money in cash and to distribute this. And so we had some protection from the security forces to ensure safety of our staff, to ensure that farmers are orderly, which they were in most of the cases. But also the next stage is we intend to have a kind of a technical committee to review the entire operations to see what were the key lessons we learned and how to scale it up with respect to other states.
Before the farmer reaches BOA verification level, he needs to be a bona fide registered member of any group or association and accredited by an off-taker as a cooperative society. Thereafter, the Bank of Agriculture BOA recognizes such farmer as a borrower and open bank account to qualify him for CVN's rice production loans.
Bank of Agriculture, improving lives, growing community.
In order to have an appreciation of what has been done in Kebbi State, there is the need to take you on field visits, because seeing is believing. The visit starts from Arugungun, and the patron of Kebbi North Rice Program Abdullahi Said Arugungum Megwandu, was asked, in what way has the rice program impacted on farmers?
Well, this is a question which people should ask us, because in the whole concept of Nigeria, there was no time that Bank Agriculture learned 70,000 farmers. I happen to be in charge of 4 local governments in this program, i.e. Gwandu, Argungu, Augi,